He's ready and waiting. Prosic. He's toying with Ortiz. He did. He goes in for everything. Ortiz, give me that damn agent.
And then Ronaldo. What a goal by Cristiano Ronaldo! Sensational.
Alright guys, hello and welcome to another videos of picks and predictions. Today we are doing the England Premier League. I believe it's around 32. We have a lot of interesting games once again. Some crazy results happened last week. We know that Arsenal didn't get the full 3 points against West Ham. It's the game that I lost my money on, but you know, today they're starting on Friday. I think they have a game against Southampton, and there's like a lot of good games besides that one. A lot of interesting matchups, especially like Newcastle against Tottenham, and for example, Fulham against Aston Villa is a good game for me. And there's a lot of games. Still, the relegation fight is on the way. The champions, you know, the fight for the title is still very much alive, and you know, it looks like the City might prevail and it looks like they might win the title, but we still have a lot of rounds to go on, and it should be interesting to see who's going to come out on top and who's going to be relegated. Anyway, before we jump into the games, I just want to remind you that 1xBet is an official partner of this channel and of this show. If you go head over there and use the code 1x Kassad at Kassad1x, while you register, you can get up to €130 bonus directly from me. So it's a pretty decent platform, as you can see on your screens. It offers a lot of options, decent odds. So make sure you check it out at least. Anyway, game number 1 on Friday. That's the day we're going to be posting this video. Is at 9 o'clock against Arsenal at Southampton. Now this is pretty much straightforward, right? It's nothing really that, you know, stands out in this game besides the fact that Arsenal is number 1 in the top of the league and Southampton is the bottom of the league. I don't think Southampton can catch either West Ham or Leeds or anybody else to avoid relegation. I think they're going to be relegated. They don't have the Premier League squad. They don't have the Premier League manager. They basically have no Premier League players whatsoever. I think they're going to be relegated 100%. Now Arsenal, they will definitely look to score multiple times because two rounds in a row they have been up 2-0 and they lost the points against Liverpool 2-2, against West Ham 2-2. So I think they're going to be looking to score at least 3 goals. So maybe Team 1 total or Arsenal total over 2.5, which offers 1.9. I think they're going to look to score at least 2 or 3 goals minimum so they can avoid this bullshit thing that happened to them. The only missing that I have is Saliba, I believe, and it's a decent missing for them, important one, but everybody else is healthy. Gabriel Jesus is probably going to score on this one. That's something that you can maybe go for too. So I don't know. For me, it's the minus 2.5 or Arsenal to score over 2 goals, over 2.5 goals seems like a decent one. Odds of Arsenal winning is 121, something that maybe you can put in your akka or something, but overall doesn't give you too much value. So them to score 3 goals offers 1.9, somewhere around 2 maybe. So I would look into that one. And that's the only game for Friday. The Saturday has offering a lot of games. First of all, Fulham against Leeds. Now Leeds has conceded 11 goals in 2 rounds. It's just ridiculous. They conceded 6 against Liverpool at home and 5 against Crystal Palace at home as well. That shows me that, you know, the defense is obviously, you know, flawed and leaky and shaky at the very best. So overall, I do think they're struggling quite a bit. On the other side, Fulham is a team that even without Mitrovic, they find a way to score and find a way to be offensive threat, something that I don't really expect. They beat Everton last round 3-1. I didn't really believe that's going to happen. It's very hard to beat Everton at home in this type of football they're playing, like under Sean Dyche. So I don't know. This game is like, for me, it's both teams to score or over 2.5 goals, which offers around 2. I think that's a very valid odd there. Fulham is a team that can definitely score. Panina and William, and like it's just it's a decent squad right now. They have nothing to play for. They can go to European football. They cannot be relegated. The goal is accomplished. I think the limit for in Premier League is about 36, 37 points, where you can actually feel safe, and they reached that long time ago, and now they're just playing for fun pretty much, and for their salaries, right? So on the other side, Leeds, they have to win. They just have to find a way to win, and in order to do that, they need to score. So Leeds to score, or Leeds the double chance not to lose. So X2 165 is something that I would definitely recommend. And maybe I can put this right here. I'll put this as Arsenal win, so we have like all the list of the games that we actually gonna predict. Last time, funny that we got the odds 77 last time. We predicted Premier League, and I didn't make my bet on that one for some reason. I just placed the bets. I forget to like actually pay and go. Anyway, the next game, Brentford Aston Villa. Now Brentford is a team that was a dangerous throughout the first, let's say, 60% of the season, and once they reach their goal and being like super safe in terms of like staying in the Premier League, they kind of stopped playing. Their defense is shaky. They are not really scoring that many goals. Ivan Toney is always a danger in the penalty area, and I think it's just for them. I don't think they have the motivation anymore as they did in the first part of the season when they were like super dangerous. On the other side, you have Aston Villa that has 7 wins and 1 draw in the last 8 games. That's 22 points out of possible 24. So I'll give you a little bit of a fun fact. So if the points counted only from the point where they changed the manager, where they got Unai Emery, they would be the third at the table. So it's just one of the favorite teams, my favorite teams to watch in Premier League right now, outside of obviously City and Arsenal. So that would be like the top 3, and I think that right now the odds on them 3-1 to win this game are not bad at all. Maybe you can go with a draw no bet. Oli Watkins to score, he's like absolutely unstoppable. I think like that's a valid odd there. Maybe I would go with X double chance X2 here. I don't think Aston Villa is losing this one. They're feeling really good. They're on a roll. I don't think there is any there is a chance obviously they lose, but I don't think they will. So it's just a very, very, very good team right now. That's all. And for them not to lose, offering 157, I think that's a fair odd to take. Crystal Palace against Everton. Now that's another game that's been playing in this like block of games at 4 o'clock on the Central European time. It's Crystal Palace that got 2 wins in a row after they got Roy Hodgson. I didn't really believe that's going to happen, but it does. They seem to be enjoying playing for him. They're all having a lot of fun, and they're scoring a lot of goals, which is unusual for Crystal Palace. And I think they need 3 more points, I believe, for them to be completely safe in the Premier League, and I think they're going to get it. I'm not sure if they're going to get it against Everton. This game is a no bet for me, so I'm not going to predict it. But if I had to predict it, I would probably go under 2.5 goals, simply because both teams are kind of, even though Crystal Palace can score goal, the problem is the Everton. Everton plays just a terrible football, just suffocating everyone, and just, it's just terrible to even watch them, and I don't even know how they play, but they need the results in order to stay. I think they're going to get 1 or 2 victories, and then they're going to manage to get to that 36, 37 point mark, and maybe, try to stay in the league. After all, it's only Everton, one of the oldest clubs and one of the most successful clubs in Premier League, with a lot of fans, and I don't think they will be relegated. Anyway, this game is a no bet for me. It's very difficult to predict, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure where to go on this one. To be quite honest, if I had to, I would go under 2.5 goals, simply because both teams are playing the way they're playing. The next game is Leicester City against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Now Wolves have been playing really, really good games in the last 6-7 rounds, and they got some wins. They beat Chelsea as well, and it's like they are playing decent. On the away games, they're not like the greatest, but they're facing one of the worst teams in the league, and that's Leicester. That is very sad to say, and to be honest, because Leicester has a great tradition. They're champions just a few years back, and they had a good squad, and now they seem to be playing without any motivation. The manager is not really a Premier League quality. They sacked Brendan Rodgers way later than they should have been. Now they just they're just lingering somewhere. I don't know if they're gonna win this or not. They need James Maddison to be like super good on this and create some chances for them. Maybe the bet here would be Maddison to have a shot on target. or something like that. I would probably go with the Asian handicap zero for Leicester, because I'm not really a big believer of the away games and for Wolves. So Leicester has to win. They have a decent fans. Stadium is going to be packed. They have to fight for the Premier League to avoid relegation, and I might lean towards them a little bit more rather than on Wolves, because 2.5 just is a decent odd here. And if you want to be a little bit more safer on this game, if you don't think like that Wolves will win and you don't want to go for 1.45 on a double chance, you go Asian handicap zero or draw no bet for Leicester, which offers you maybe around 175 or even 180. When that can happen, I think Leicester can score. It's just the fact if they will score. Liverpool, Nottingham Forest. Now this is a game that's been played. The last game is 4 o'clock on Saturday. Now Liverpool is a team that is like 9 points behind Newcastle. I don't think they can catch them for the Champions League. So I don't think they're going to be playing European football. They only have the Premier League competition that they stayed on. A lot of problems in the back, a lot of problems in midfield. The only part of the team that's actually working is the attacking part. So they have some sort of rebuilding, rethinking some options to do in the off season after this season ends. So I do believe that they will try to score as many goals as they can for their fans, because the stadium again will be packed and the fans never leave Liverpool hanging in that regard, and they're always like pulling them back. This game can go just 4-0, 5-0 for Liverpool easily. And if you're a really believer on Nottingham Forest, now the odds on them winning this game are 17. In the Premier League, that's something that you can take this, right, for 1/3 of a unit, 1/4 of a unit, and then you get 17 what you put there. So Nottingham Forest to win, I mean, yes, it looks crazy and everything, but the odds are just giving you too good of a value, because Nottingham Forest, in order to stay in the league, they have to get some wins. Probably not going to be against Liverpool, but why not to give it a shot? At least for like few bucks, right? So for me, this is a very interesting game. I think Liverpool will probably score at least 3 times, and I think they will just try to lift their confidence coming into the rest of the games in the season and try to end the season in a positive manner. That's how I feel. Salah to score probably, and I don't know. Maybe even Nunez to score. It's just different options there, but yeah, I think it's going to be a blowout. Now, Bournemouth against West Ham United. This is a very, very one of the most interesting games for me, to be quite honest with you. And I do think that Bournemouth is a team that's kind of fighting in the best possible way to stay in the league. I think they deserve the most. They beat Tottenham last week. They beat Liverpool a few weeks back. It's just the team that they're really fighting to stay in the league, and they have a decent squad as well to stay in the league. I mean, they're not like some sort of a miracle squad that can get like in the middle of the table, but they have just enough to make it through for the next season. Now they're facing another relegation team, right? That's West Ham United. West Ham United had a midweek game against Ghent. They started 0-1 and they just demolished them with 4 goals in the second half. In 3 goals in the second half. It was 1-1 at the halftime. And I think they did some rotations in towards the end of that game, and I do believe they're going to be gunning for a victory here. Now this game this can go either way. It can go literally either way. I think both teams can score, and I do believe that's going to happen. I'm going to go with both teams to score, yes, at 1.84, because I do believe both teams are going to be going for the victory. West Ham, they can concede and Bournemouth can score, and Bournemouth can concede and West Ham can score. So that's a no-brainer for me. I think I'm going to take that one. The very last game is on Sunday, I believe. Yeah, on Sunday, 3 o'clock, the same time where West Ham, and when West Ham is playing, it's between Newcastle and Tottenham. Now, Newcastle has lost the game against Aston Villa pretty convincingly last week, 3-0. Ollie Watkins again. We talked about this before. And they really looked like not the team that beat Manchester United the week before, right? They looked different. But we can't really take away anything from Aston Villa because Aston Villa plays a great football right now. They're playing against Tottenham, who lost to Bournemouth. They embarrassed themselves again. It's just a shit show over there. I don't trust them whatsoever. For me, this is a Newcastle to win. Newcastle winning this game. I don't even know if Tottenham can score, but considering the last few games of Newcastle, that had one of the better defenses, but they kept conceding goals. Maybe both teams to score can be an option as well, but I would definitely go with Newcastle to win. They have most of the players ready. I think they're going to be gunning for the Champions League spot, and it's just something that I would probably have to take. And as you can see, we didn't have Manchester City in this round because they're playing against Sheffield United for in the cup game, and so we're not going to go over that. But that would cover mostly all of the games in the Premier League this weekend. Like I said, Newcastle against Tottenham would definitely be something that I would go for Newcastle to win. But anyway, I think that covers pretty much everything. And if you guys enjoyed this little content that we are making, just make sure you like and subscribe, and leave a comment what you think, who's going to win, who's going to lose, who's going to get that points, and anything that you want to talk about, just make sure you leave it in the comments. And like I said, like and subscribe, and let's win some money. Thank you, and I'll catch you later. See ya.